Hey everyone, thanks again for joining the Ret-Con-Artists. We're getting pretty far along into this longer chapter. This episode, the group is going to find out more and more creepy things about what the hell is going on in this bizarre bazaar. Again, we're really glad to have you here with us. So enjoy this episode, number 4 of the Bazaar Bazaar.
Sure.
Let's do the thing.
Why not now?
Why not now?
Why not yesterday?
Hello everybody. I hope you can hear me. I think they can. I am Goat the GM and we are the Ret-Con-Artists. Say hi.
Hi. The Chili's.
Well, hi. Welcome to Chili's. Sorry. We are into the 4th episode of the Bazaar Bazaar, and this one's a little bizarre. Last week we did just a lot of figuring shit out, and this week I feel like shit's about to hit the fan.
Or the banshee.
Or the banshee. We hope everyone had a great week. We're having a great week ourselves. Sorry, I'm moving cameras as I'm talking here. Probably not the wisest. There we go.
You'll break everything.
I'm not.
There
There we go. All right.
Yay.
Are we good?
Yes, we're good. So,
Good.
not too much to announce this week other than, hey, check out our podcast channel because we just did a brand new podcast called Ret-Con After Hours. And that's where we all just kind of sat here, hung out, and shit talked to each other basically the whole time. But it was actually a really good time. I think we all had a lot of fun with it. It was a chance for us all to actually just hang out together and learn a little bit about each other and a little bit about the game that we're all playing. And I'm looking forward to doing more.
I pitched the info org. I don't know if you know.
And the info org
yeah.
is definitely a very good idea that I would love to play around with. So
Should pre-record info orcs as the commercials.
that's actually a really cool idea.
Info Orc says, thank you for follow.
All right, Alex is playing info org.
You've been volunteered.
Fine with that.
All right, so nothing else really to add except if you guys want to be a part of the next After Hours podcast and you want to ask us questions, go ahead and send us some messages in the Discord there or on the Twitter if you want to using the hashtag Ret-Con-Artists. You can find us at Ret-Con-Artists TV on Twitter, and that's the best way you can ask us questions is there in the Discord, and we'll try and keep a list of them and try and answer them as best as we can. It can be for any individual cast member or it can be for all of us at once. Yeah. Anybody else have anything you want to add before we get going?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Everyone should go back and watch the 5.5 hour stream we did Saturday if you want to see us get drunk and eat pizza.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
And play Resident Evil a little.
destroy Zomberts.
Basically
We're
looking
almost
at
done.
Claire
Yeah.
Redfield's butt.
Not bad. Yes,
Yeah,
a lot of
her
Claire-
booty. She's got like a nice suit on. She's like
Right.
a little race car driver.
So,
Motorcycle enthusiast.
She knows how to drive stick.
Oh, yeah, she did.
You're gonna make me quit this early in the fucking episode? Oh my good god.
That's my goal. Eventually, I'm just going to make you stop like in the first 30 seconds. That's my goal.
Okay, that's what she said, but yeah.
Oh.
All right.
You can just see
So-
yourself out.
Wow. And to bring it all full circle, what she actually said was gawk gawk.
Poor Cinderella.
Anyone want to recap last week?
We did some stuff, found some stuff.
We found
Touch
dead
some
guys.
stones.
Yeah, they did a little shimmy shimmy on a stone. There's a lady screaming at me right now.
Yeah.
And that actually does pretty much bring us to where we are.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't get the reference, they jumped down a well to find Timmy. No, wait, Tim's actually with them. They all jumped down a well. They splashed
Floated.
down into a pool. Well, one of them splashed down into a pool, and they ended up going through a tunnel underground, finding a road and some old buildings sticking out from the road. And they have run into a crying woman who turned and screamed her unhinged jaw at them. And that is exactly where we left off. So, roll for initiative.
Yay!
That is actually kind of, yeah. All right.
I gotta get my
Gotta load my dice up.
got
I,
this
16 plus,
dice tray.
Nice.
16 plus 3, so I got 19 for my initiative.
Beautiful. All right.
Where is... That's not the right app.
14.
Can't use real dice because I have a cat.
Dude, same.
I tried it. It didn't work.
16 plus 3.
Hello?
What do you, oh,
1.
Max rolled a 1.
Oof.
I was like, what are you doing?
Well, I got a 4. So.
Oh my good
Wow,
god.
I am not the last person. I got an 8.
Okay.
Good thing I was traveling at the back.
And Vera?
Oh my
13
God.
or 14.
14. Thank you. All right. So the initiative goes Tarvok, Vera, Bjorn, Banshee, Tim, and Arthur.
I still go before the Banshee.
Tarvok.
Good idea.
Yes.
First things first. I'll set the scene actually for you guys too. When you guys all approached, I believe it was Bjorn that went up to the Banshee and said, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah, I told Tarvok to get ready, which could explain why he had a 19. He was ready to
He
pew
did
pew.
get ready.
Fate just
Yeah,
happened.
he got
I am
super ready.
I'm already being as stealthy can be.
Right,
Yeah.
I tried to be stealthy and failed.
You guys all have the road behind you. Behind the Banshee is the little gatehouse for this big portcullis and gate that leads up to the front of what is this seemingly very large structure. The gatehouse is on the right side of the road. There's a bit of it's like a 20-foot by 20-foot alcove where the tunnel's kind of hollowed out, and that's where you all found the Banshee. And she was literally like 3 feet in front of the door. And that is where Bjorn is. The rest of you, I'm going to say, are about 15 feet back.
All right, I'm on an elevated surface as well, if you remember.
Were you?
I was.
Oh.
I thought I was right next to the Banshee as well.
Oh, did you go up with Bjorn?
Well, I was running up first ahead of everybody till we saw the woman.
Right.
And then I stopped, and Bjorn ran forward, and I ran up there with him.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
I walked behind Bjorn.
There's a
I guess.
retcon for us. First one of the night.
All right.
Ding.
So it's my go. Clearly,
Count 1.
clearly, I see that my companions are in a little bit of danger. And I know from the last time I've already got an arrow knocked in my bow, so I'm just going to take a pot shot at this Banshee.
All right. Roll to hit.
I
Aim for the
certainly
mouth.
will. That's the goal. I'm going to see if I can gok her. I love
There's
how
gonna
this
be
is
a goal every
this is a
combat.
turn of phrase now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my to hit is +7.
Okay.
Goodness.
So I rolled 13 plus 7, so 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Goodness. Jesus.
All right. So unfortunately, I don't get my fancy skill right off the bat, which is too bad. Where's my 8? That's my 8. So it's 1d8 plus 3.
Okay.
So I got 3 plus 3, so 6.
Decent. All right. All right. The Banshee takes your arrow into the head, and her face just kind of snaps back a little bit, and you hear a little crunch in her neck. She's very decayed, this Banshee. She looks like a floating zombie, basically. And she kind of gets to her quote-unquote feet, I guess you will. And she's floating now in front of Bjorn and Arthur. Vera, you're up next.
What up?
Spook.
And Bjorn is like right next to it.
Yeah, so is Arthur. They're both basically standing there, trying to
Yeah.
console an undead creature.
I'm gonna.
Hey, look, man.
I'm gonna step close enough to hit it with my whip, which has reach. So
Okay.
that's 10 feet. And I'll hit it with the eco whip.
Sweet. All right, roll for that one.
And
At least
I
you're going
roll,
green.
15
Equals-
plus 3? Yeah, so 18.
18 to hit. That hits for sure. Eco's actually
Yeah.
red, Alex. So
Yes.
Well, terminology
red
should be
one.
corrected.
So that's 6 total damage.
okay.
To
Where were you aiming?
probably just its chest area.
Okay. So yeah,
Fear is not very trained, just kind of knows do the whip.
yeah. So Eco just kind of like with a little squeak as you fling Eco in your hand, kind of like stretches out. Is he, she, it?
They?
Vera refers to them as male.
Okay. So Eco, he just like stretches out with a little beep, and he like just slaps the chest of the banshee, and it actually it slices in a little bit against her rib cage there, just kind of like tearing open a little bit of the flesh. Next up
That's
is
delicious.
Bjorn.
Hello, I'm going to hit this fucker with a hammer.
All right. Do you have any special abilities against undead, being a cleric?
Do I?
Yes.
As an action, channel undead. Okay, as an action, all undead within 30 feet can see/hear me. Must make a Wisdom save. If an
Mhm.
undead fails to save, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
Okay.
Turned, move away. Never moves within 30 feet of me. No reactions or actions other than dash.
So that's every one of its turns? Is that what it said?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, if they fail.
Okay. All right. Good to
Or
know.
until it takes damage, but I ain't gonna do that because I'm gonna hit it.
Okay.
Okay. 17 plus 6.
That hits. How are you swinging at it?
I'm gonna swing at its face.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do this for 11 damage.
Holy shit. All right.
It's pretty good.
So this banshee, it goes tumbling back with that hit, and it slams against the door of the gatehouse. And once again, she just screams this horrifying howl at you. And for a split second, you can see what almost looks like a little bit of fear in its eyes. And
That's right.
and you hear
Give you a reason
kind
to
of
scream.
under her breath, you kind of hear a slight
Now. Oh,
no.
great.
It was more of a no. Sorry, not a now.
Oh no! I was like, now.
No.
God damn it!
I was
no.
trying to do the
That was a
effect
word.
of like the ghosty voice, but apparently that just changes the word.
No. Go. No.
No. All right, it's the banshee's turn. It's gonna roll that Does it roll that wisdom check now, or is that only if you cast that spell?
It says as an action I have to do it,
Oh, okay,
so I didn't use it as an action.
good.
Because I don't wanna. I wanna hit it.
All right, fair enough.
It's not too spooky. It's just a lady.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Pardon my reading. There's a lot of abilities for this thing.
Oh, good.
That's comforting.
Delicious.
The banshee does use her turn. Actually, she phases through the wall. She does have incorporeal movement as an ability. So she's gonna go through the wall of this guardhouse, this gatehouse, and you all
she's
lose
gone.
sight of her for this turn at this point. Next up is Tim.
Tim's casting invisibility on himself.
All right, are you moving anywhere, or are you just hanging out?
He's going to take a few steps and he's going to move back by Tarbok.
Okay.
Or up. By
Yeah. Fair enough.
in that direction.
All right, Arthur, you're up.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. He made it run away for now.
Psych.
Yeah, right.
Is there a way into this guard tower?
Yeah, she was sitting in front of the door to it.
Okay, I was just making sure. We haven't been really able to go into anything yet. They've
All
been
right,
like,
I'm going to kind of move up to the door. How far away is it?
From you, it's about 13 to 15 feet, I would say, roughly. Well, just
All
for
right, so I'll move to
even number,
13
we'll say,
feet.
yeah. Sorry.
Just so I have every foot I can to run back away. I'm gonna go up to the door, and Arthur's just gonna kind of like peek in,
Okay.
see if he could see it in there or not.
The door is your typical heavy wooden and metal braced type guard door. It has a small window with the slider on it. You actually can't see in the door, and the door is locked. Next to the door is a very small barred window to look through for the guards that would have worked inside this gatehouse.
do you want to look
So
through
it's
that
locked from
window
the inside?
instead?
Pardon me?
It's locked from the inside, then.
It is locked. You can see that there is a keyhole, but it is locked.
Yeah, then I'll look in the window.
Sure. Roll me a perception check, please.
16.
16. All right. And you don't have dark vision, is that correct? Or you do?
I do.
Sorry, you do. Tiefling. Derp. You peer into this room, which is pitch black, but you can still see. And you hear, as you stick your head in this little porthole with the bars on it, you can't quite get past the bars, of course, but you do hear more weeping and wailing. And do you speak Elvish?
Yes.
Okay. You do hear in Elvish this banshee sobbing and saying, "I'm sorry, my love. I might not be able to protect you after all this time." That's all you hear. You hear it coming from the right side of the room, and you can't quite see her.
Shit. Now's the time where I wish I had some like super fancy useless trinket.
Bjorn? Super useless trinket? No.
I have a
All
metal
of you.
pole.
But we don't
That
have a trinket.
replicates.
Okay, so can unseen servant go through walls?
Let's look it up.
I've never
believe-
used it that way.
I believe you can make it appear
Where I can
anywhere
see.
you can see. Yeah.
If only you had some sort of
Okay.
chicken.
I know, right?
We wouldn't be able to put the chicken in the barred window.
Yeah, true. I guess if
Push
your
hard
head
enough.
couldn't- Yeah.
Nothing like
Unseen
forcing
servant.
A bird in a tight space.
An invisible, mindless, shapeless force that performs simple tasks at your command until the spell ends. The servant springs into existence in an unoccupied space on the ground within range. It has AC 10, 1 hit point, and strength of 2, and it can't attack. If it drops to 0 hit points, the spell ends. Once on each of your turns as a bonus action, you can mentally command the servant to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object. The servant can perform simple tasks that a human servant could do, such as fetching things, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, blah, blah, blah. Once you give the command, the servant performs the task to the best of its ability until it completes the task, then it waits for your next command. If it moves more than 60 feet away, the spell ends. So you could cast it inside the room.
Through the window
Yeah.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna take a different approach to this, and you could tell me when my turn ends. You know, as far as how much I've done. I've already done a perception check, so let me know
Yes.
when's too much.
I will let you use
Um,
one action. Yeah, I'll let the perception be just
Okay.
kind of a bonus action for you.
well, because Arthur is Arthur, he's gonna be a little more unconventional per usual.
Mm-hmm.
So upon hearing the Elvish speaking,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna kind of dim his crown just a little bit, so we can see through the window,
Yep.
you know, clearly in the dark. And he's gonna kind of knock on the window, and he's gonna say back at Elvish, I don't know, something like, perhaps a conversation of, something like what we both need is, you know, we should have a conversation. Basically, what he's gonna say. I was trying to word it in my Arthur way, but I couldn't think of anything.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna
think I
try
know
and
what you're saying.
persuade her to speak to me if it's
Okay.
possible.
Roll a persuasion check, please.
Roll a 10.
Okay.
Oh, that
You
charisma.
hear, yeah, you hear the sobbing and the small love talking just kind of stop.
Love talking.
Yeah, well, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, and I did say in
the
Elvish. I'm not sure if I said that.
I know what you said. It's just a really bad way of saying it.
love talking. You do hear the chatter to whatever she was talking to. Yeah, you hear it just stop, and you don't really get a response, actually.
All right, then I'm going to quickly just tell the rest of the group that we may have encroached on a banshee possibly defending the remains of a falling warrior. That's just like Arthur's assumption, is that she's protecting something inside based on what he heard. So he's
Sounds
just
good.
going to tell the group that, and then he's going to move back next to Bjorn.
Okay. That brings us to Tarvok.
All right, well, I'm going to load another arrow since it's just something I can do without taking an action. But I kind of just want to stay at the ready. So I'm going to keep my attention focused on the door. Just give me a moment. I want to see if there's anything that I can use right off the top of my head, because we are done a long rest, right? So that means all my spell slots are back, which is always exciting.
Well, yeah. Before we came down, we did one. I think I'm still missing one from.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
correct.
missing one as well, but that's okay.
I'm down to one.
From all of our shenanigans.
All right, no, I'm not going to cast anything right now. But I am going to stay at the ready, and I'm going to heed Arthur's words. So I'm not going to bother getting a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to kind of just stay cautious, because if we're encroaching on someone else's area, maybe we can talk this out.
Okay. Cool. So is there
That'll be my
anything
turn.
that, like, are you gonna, like, basically you're just holding your turn until something happens? So is there a trigger, like if something comes through the door or something like that?
If one of my party members is attacked, I'm going to react as quickly as I can.
Okay, sounds good. Next up is Vera.
I think Vera is just going to wait on the others to do something.
Okay.
She is not the initiative taker, I guess.
Okay.
So, but if I guess she'll be ready, the same as Tarvok, sort of where she is.
Sounds good. That brings us to Bjorn.
Hi. So, I'm not supposed to smash through the door then.
I don't know.
If Bjorn would smash through the door, Bjorn should smash through.
Well, you told
Honestly,
him that. I don't
that's-
know if Arthur's like, hey, don't do this.
No, all he said was, you guys would have seen him knock on the window. He would have spoken Elvish, whether you understood him or not. I'm not sure if you guys speak Elvish.
Nope.
Yes.
Then he turned around and said, I think we've encroached on this creature defending the remains of a fallen friend or whatever. Basically, be careful kind of thing. And then he kind of backed off.
Sweet. I'm going to smash the door.
There you go.
Smash the door.
All right. Roll to hit.
Okay.
It's not going to be hard to hit it.
It is if you roll a half.
18 plus 4.
Yep, that definitely hits. Roll for damage, please.
22.
A
Okay.
solid blow.
9.
Okay. Your hammer goes smashing against that door, right smack dab in the center, and you open up a big hole in the center of it. Not big enough for any of you to crawl through. However, you do notice on the other side there is a wooden bar down across the door as well, including the lock.
The door is locked, everyone.
But you actually
Good job,
roll me a perception check as well, please.
12.
And
My passive is 15.
I don't think
but
you've turned your helmet off this whole time, right?
No.
All right, that'll
My
be good
helmet's
enough.
on because I can't fucking see.
So, with the beam of light kind of going in through the dust that's settling from you smashing this door, you can kind of see this figure of the banshee off to the right a little bit, and as your beam of light illuminates her, you can see just kind of her back. She's hunched over something, and as soon as the light hits her, she turns and wails once again, and she's going to come straight through the wall at Bjorn.
Ooh.
Would you stop yelling at me? God.
She's gonna try and hit you with corrupting touch.
Oh, great. That sounds awesome.
All right. What? 11? Does it hit?
18 is my AC.
I didn't think it hit. All right, so she comes wailing through, and I think just from the effort of going through the difficult terrain of phasing through a door and a wall, it kind of throws her off course a little bit, and she just kind of skims past you off to your right, and is now
what the fuck?
like as she went by you, you just felt this cold chill as she was screaming right next to your ear. And she's now about 5 feet behind you and kind of getting close to Tarvok, who I believe is somewhere near Tim, who is up next.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh.
I think Tarvok and I both were
Both
ready.
You were.
So the guys
but
can't-
your
I mean,
trigger,
she
you
did
said.
attack me. You didn't
that's
say
fair.
the
That's
attack
fair.
had to land.
No.
I guess I was assuming if the attack landed or not. All right, so yes, I guess she did attack you guys. So I'm gonna say Tarvok first, please.
So, since it is a reaction, the second she materializes just past Bjorn is when I let the arrow go.
Please don't hit me.
All
I'm
right.
gonna roll the hit, and we're gonna
Rolls
find
one.
out. No, I got a 16 plus 7.
That
so
hits.
That's 23.
Thank God. I trust you, but I didn't trust you for that second.
So it's 1d8 plus 3, and then a second 1d8 because of Colossus Slayer.
Oh, all right.
So the first one's only a 5,
Okay.
and the second one's an 8. I hit for 13.
Damn, son.
Ow.
Yeah, she's as she's screaming past Bjorn's face, she takes that arrow right to the forehead. And it's like sticking out of her skull. And there's a little like flap of flesh hanging down from her forehead now, and you see a little bit of like old black oozing blood kind of trickling down. And she's not looking too good. She turns to face you, Tarvok, and again lets out the most blood-curdling wail.
She can try, but now she's going to get whipped in the face.
And she screams, "Leave us alone."
That is not a scream. That is a mild whisper.
I can't do it that loud.
Could have drowned her.
May as well be. All right, Vera, you're up.
Okay, so I rolled a 15 to hit
With your whip.
with my whip.
All right, now roll for Nene. I mean damage.
I did, and I got a 2.
She's trying her best.
Not
guys.
bad.
I rolled 1s on both of my dice.
Good job, Miss
Got it.
Bookworm. All
So
right, your
just a
whip
little-
at the end of her sentence when she's saying "leave us alone," your whip just kind of reaches out and Iko just kind of like slaps her in the face and she goes and the arrow
Shut
just
up.
like points off to the wall.
The sticky hand of doom.
Next is Tim.
Tim's gonna stay hidden.
Damn.
I mean, it looks like we got it, so.
Saving the action.
Fair enough.
Why waste the invisibility? It lasts an hour.
That's true. Oops.
Or no?
It's gonna be
Wait,
invisibility.
hold on, I need to
It's gonna be
remember.
invisible for an hour now.
I think it does last an hour. I think that's what it was.
I'm double checking.
Unless
Welcome
he
to
does
Ret-Con-Artists, where
something.
Tim is always missing.
Yeah.
How did you guys handle that last encounter? Well, Tim disappeared. What did you do then? Nothing.
I could get a recap of last session. Yeah, Tim went invisible.
You know that spell, invisibility, that would be a wonderful spell for like a 13-year-old hormonal kid. You know, for those random moments.
Invisible.
Then the bandwagon went off the rails.
Oh my god, you guys
we're losing
remember?
cameras.
You guys remember that
Yeah, we
fucking
lost
song?
cams.
Oh god.
We lost cams again.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna
No.
reconnect.
They all froze.
Oh no, here they
The
come.
only person
Boom.
that, the only person that I missed was Ken was frozen.
Hold on, I'm still missing Paul.
Nope, we're good.
Paul takes a second to load
Oh
in,
no, it
usually.
just says until the spell ends.
Oh,
There's no
Oh
time
my
limit.
god, so you're just gonna be invisible forever.
wow.
Plan, calm down.
No, concentration up to 1 hour.
Oh, does it say 1 hour?
Yeah, but you have to be
I don't see that.
concentrating on it.
Would you like me to refresh my camera?
Yes, please.
Are you looking at greater invisibility?
No.
No, just
Oh.
invisibility. It's up to 1 hour.
All right.
Trust me, I
I
did
mean,
look it
you're
up.
you're GM. I'm not gonna argue with you.
That's right.
But it lasts forever.
There he is. Hi, Paul.
There we go.
Perfect.
Hello.
Awesome.
Aw.
All right, so Tim is gonna stay invisible. Wimp.
Saving that action.
I'm just kidding. And next up is Arthur, who just saw a bunch of action go down after saying, "Hey guys, I think she's trying to mourn a fallen friend or something."
This
Okay,
is
I'm
so
gonna
weird.
run inside the room.
Okay.
What do I see?
You go barreling inside the room. The Banshee does notice, and she's gonna turn and scream at you. It's not her turn yet.
Of course
roll
she
me,
does.
another perception check, please. It is quite dusty in there
25.
after that door was smashed. Oh wow, yeah, no, you see everything inside the room. It's
I
about,
can see.
I would say it's about 15 feet wide as you run in, and about 10 feet deep. It's not a very large room. It's just a little guard's room. There's a small table in the corner, and off to your left you see a panel of levers on top of like a cabinet sort of thing. And then off to your right, next to the small table, slouched against the wall, is, with its jaw hanging open, the old skeletal remains, clad in very exotic-looking chain armor. Is this just a humanoid skeleton with its jaw hanging open?
Cool.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You
Yep,
have
pretty
still
much.
about, I'm going to say you still have about 15 feet of movement.
Oh no, no more movement required. I can't get in, right? Because the hole is just enough to see through that Bjorn made. Or can I actually get in? I don't remember how big the hole was.
No, you can't get in, unfortunately. But
Okay.
like, you can stick your head in. That's how you were able to
Yeah.
see everything in
I
there.
got you. Okay, so I'm going to let me just make sure I can do this. I think I can do this. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
So right inside the room,
Mm-hmm.
my butler's gonna appear. He's look at me and go, "Yes, sir."
What does he look like?
I'm gonna light a torch. What does he look like?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
invisible.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Do
so.
you guys remember Ask Jeeves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask Jeeves. That's what he looks like. Only he's Elvish.
Perfect.
So he appears.
Ask
He's like, "Yes, sir."
Jeeves.
Yeah. He
Ask Jelves. Sorry.
I light a torch,
Yeah.
I hand it to him, and I say,
Is lighting a torch in action?
I don't know. You tell me.
Probably.
I thought it'd be interacting
Could be a
with an object.
bonus action.
I'll allow it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you tell me when it's
Yeah,
too
I'll
much.
allow it.
Okay. This is just my idea. And then I'm gonna say burn that if I say to, and I point at the skeleton. And then I'm gonna turn to the Banshee and I'm gonna say, "You best be stopping." And I'm gonna step aside and point into the door, just to see the unseen servant kind of turning, go walk up to
Yeah.
the skeleton.
Y'all best be stopping. Okay.
Real
And I guess my
sassy.
goal, mechanically, my goal is either to get her to like give someone else advantage, or to get her to stop attacking. Whatever one I can possibly pull off with whatever this is.
Okay.
So you can decide obviously how everything goes down here, but if anything at all.
Okay.
Banshee responds, "Try me, bish."
Yeah, she
basically.
screams at me, and I go flying across the room, and I'm unconscious.
Yeah, that's a very interesting. So you know what? I want you to roll an intimidation with that,
Okay.
and I'll give you
You don't ask
advantage
questions.
because you've set
Okay.
up this bluff
means
ahead
the
of time.
first
Well,
one-
bluff or not, but I'll give you advantage on this because you've set up the scene ahead of time, or I guess the ruse of sorts.
Ooh, I need that advantage. Here we go. Something better. There we go. That's better. What is this? 17.
All right. What language did you say it in?
I'm speaking in Elvish.
Okay. Good.
How does that sound, Nellish?
I can't speak Elvish. I don't know.
You can if your heart desires.
With
If
that
someone
accent, specifically.
is there like a translator? I could like type everything out and like into
Probably.
the translator and read it back to you.
I literally
best be
have
stopping.
one.
Oh no!
Oh my
Please
goodness.
continue.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking it up right now.
Put it in the group chat. Put it in the group chat, and he can read it from there.
Yeah, throw it in the live episode discussion in the Discord there. All right, so you say in Elvish, you best be stopping to this banshee, and it definitely, she's been watching you since you've gone and stuck your head in that door. It does make her falter. She seems to deflate a little bit where she's standing, and looks incredibly pissed off still, as banshees probably normally. I would think a banshee has resting bitch face. Am I wrong there?
They're
Oh,
not
The
good
flag
like
jaw
that.
and everything. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
Resting Cinderella face.
Oof.
She,
All right, so translating Elvish,
yeah.
Arthur would have yelled, "Var better Nishanas," and I'll try to work on the accent a little better, I guess. But that's what he would have yelled.
I love it. She doesn't seem to react. Of course, it's not her turn yet, but she does seem really pissed off and a little bit deflated and worried. Next up, it is Bjorn's turn with the new initiative since Tarbok and Vera moved their spots. Or does that reset?
Bjorn?
No, they're supposed to stay in the same order, even with a ready to action.
Like after the
Yeah,
ready
'cause
to
it's
action?
It's like a reaction.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
So
Tarbok's
then
turn.
it's
Tarbok's
It's
turn.
Tarbok's turn.
Yeah.
I
They
had
just
it
don't have a
drawn. I
flag
just wanted to make sure I didn't lose the spots just in case that was the case. All right, Tarbok, you're up.
Okay, so I'm gonna knock another arrow, but I wanna look at Arthur
Mm-hmm.
and kind of give him a kind of like thing, right? Like, what am I doing?
Okay. I'll let you respond, Arthur.
Okay, Arthur says, well, he says, I remember when I said about how there might be more to than this, and she mentioned us. And he kind of points into the room as well at the unseen servant, like kind of walking up to the skeletal remains with a torch. And Arthur says, oh, actually, well, you said she looks very angry still.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell if she's going to stop or if she's going to attack anyway? Like, is she still in the middle about the screaming at me, or like, what can I sense any effect?
I'll repeat what I said.
Okay.
She seemed very deflated. Seemed to get a little bit worried and is still very angry looking.
Okay,
So I'll
so
let you
as-
gauge from that. I'm
so
not gonna tell you
after
what she's
all
gonna
of
do
that-
next.
Yeah, well, no. I'm
I
not
know, I know.
asking that, but I don't want to know.
Just a little DMS ESP.
So Arthur's gonna look at Tarvok after kind of saying that. He's gonna go, "Don't let me die."
Okay.
That's all he's gonna say. Yeah, because
Okay, so I just let an arrow fly to see if I can catch her in the back.
Okay. Roll to hit.
$17.
All right. That definitely hits. Roll some damage.
Oop. I dropped my dice. Hold on a second.
Takes his headset off to pick it up.
Oh.
Awesome.
It escaped.
You want to know how many times he drops his fucking dice when we play in person, too?
So the first one was 7 plus 3, so 10. And then my
Yep.
second one, because of Colossus Slayer,
Yep.
is another 7. So I hit her for 17.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
If she's still breathing. Kind of.
I mean, she's
So-
dead. But,
Your
you know,
He
arrow...
made her
Close
breathe
enough.
again.
Your arrow goes straight through her back and comes bursting out from where that whip mark was earlier.
Nice.
And you see her just kind of float down and kind of crouch down to the ground for a half a second. And she picks herself up and she's clutching the arrow in her chest. And she's just holding it now. And she is, as much as a banshee can look bad, she's looking pretty fucking bad right now.
All right, so before I end my turn, since I didn't take a movement, I'd like to take a bonus action.
Sure.
A bonus action for bowless archery.
Oh, no.
He...
I kind of want to yell at this banshee, but I don't know Elvish, so I'm only going to say it in common.
Just gonna screech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just.
It's like whale in Nemo, Finding Nemo.
I just so the only thing Tarvok can think of is so I don't want to shoot another arrow at you. So maybe you could stop, and we can talk this through like civilized adults. As he knocks another arrow, just in case.
Roll persuasion. With advantage, because she's pretty fucked up right now.
Okay, give me a second to bring up my sheet here.
We can talk this through like we're adults. You're not my dad.
Persuasion. Oh, I'm proficient in it.
I'm going to need an 18 or higher. But you have advantage.
So that's not quite high enough. That is only 15. My seconds. 18.
Whew! By
Just
the
because of
hair
the
of
proficiency
your
bonus.
Tarvok. Yep. All right.
Colossus Slayer is nuts.
Yeah.
I love it, right?
You've been doing some serious damage to this thing, and it seems super, super duper defeated at this very second. And she just, like, after she picks herself back up holding the arrow, she just lets herself fall again to the ground and crumples to the ground and just starts sobbing. You are all
And back to
effectively
square one.
Yeah, you are all effectively out of initiative. Are you okay?
I was gonna say I'll go up to her, like pat her head, like, oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So I want to put away my gear in a flourish, so I just take the arrow and I put it back because I don't want to hurt anybody, but I swing the bow around as hard as I can, like this majestic thing, in hoping to smack Tim out of invisibility.
You're still right next to him, I think, too, right?
I will
Yeah.
roll that dex.
Yes, roll a dex save, please.
What do you want from me?
You're just flailing wildly in a wide arc around you. That's fine.
Sure. To Tarvok, it's in a flourish.
Colossus Slayer.
Oh,
What
this
was
is
it?
how we do it
18.
back home.
18? All right. I think
Puts it around my waist and swings it like a hula hoop.
Tim sees the bow kind of coming at him. And he just kind of flops backwards a little bit, and it goes whistling over his head.
Nice try.
Are you gonna stay in invisibility?
Yup.
All right.
Well, I thought it'd be funny, but no, you have to be daft or deaf. No, you're daft. Anyway, I get down.
All right. So you guys kind
I can
of, well, Tarvok,
go
you
collect my
clamber
arrows.
down a little bit. You're gonna go pull your arrows out of the still alive banshee.
No, not yet. I'm gonna ask her if she wants some help removing them.
All right. How do you ask that?
I guess I walk over, and I'm standing next to her, or just above her, I guess, and go, so, you don't mind if I, like, yank those out here, do you? They're expensive.
She just kind of lets out another scream at you, basically.
Fine, you can keep them. Jeez, and I just walk over to Bjorn and Arthur. She's angry. I don't know what's wrong with her. not like
We did
got it.
shoot her.
Well,
I could find out possibly, and I tell my unseen servant to halt.
Okay. Your unseen servant's just kind of like looking back and forth.
Well, he looks very proper. He's got like one arm, like out across his chest,
Okay.
and
Just has
plate
the
another, and
torch.
he's like,
just
yeah.
like casually holding
He's
it
like,
close to this
"Sir?"
corpse.
yeah. And I look up at Bjorn, and Arthur's like, "Well, can you watch my back now? I don't want to get bansheed."
Okay.
Okay.
How heavy would you
Do
say
I watch?
How heavy? What?
What?
Sorry.
Just stares at his back.
the bar that's on the other side of the door? How heavy would you say it is?
It's just like a large metal bar that's kind of slotted across like a normal barrier would be
That
behind the door.
doesn't say how heavy
Greater,
it is.
Yeah, it's
less
not
than or
that-
equal to 10 pounds.
I think to lift it off, it would probably be roughly 10 pounds, actually.
So can I just use Mage Hand and open that stupid bar?
Sure.
Tim's
While he's
gonna go and
doing
do
that,
All right. The bar goes clattering
Arthur's
down to
gonna-
the ground.
He's just gonna push the door open.
Well, the door's still locked.
Oh, he said it was locked by the. Okay, never mind. Well, the bar's down.
I'll hit it harder next time.
Okay.
But right now, I'm watching his back.
It's a nice back you've got there.
While everybody's like doing stuff, Vera's gonna turn Eco back into regular Eco, and then sort of just sit with both the slimes in her hands, and I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic.
Okay.
I'm just kind of sitting there like,
Okay, give me a quick second here. What are you casting it on exactly?
well, it's just 30 feet around.
Oh, in a circle? Okay. You from inside of from everything else that you know that is magic around you, other than that stuff, inside of that shack, you detect a very, very, very strong level of enchantment
Ooh.
coming from the back right of it.
I would know what school of magic it is.
Enchantment.
That's not a school of magic.
Yeah, it is.
That's a type of spell.
I looked up the exact spell, and
Really?
it was enchantment type is what it told me.
Weird.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll double check it again for you.
I didn't think enchantment was a.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a school.
It would be.
Fifth
I
level
think it'd be like-
enchantment is what you are detecting.
Huh. Okay.
So it's telling me.
Fair enough.
So Arthur's gonna continue to walk up to the banshee and kneel down next to her and start speaking to her in Elvish.
Okay.
I'm like looming over him. Just
Just staring at his back.
well, yeah, and her just like
Yeah. All right,
intently, very, very intently, just watching.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of her.
You're right.
Does anything wrong?
And
Drop the hammer over her.
Just holding it over her head. All right, Arthur, what do you
Arthur
say?
like is giving like a thumbs up at Bjorn, being prepared. And he kneels down next to the banshee and he just starts speaking in Elvish. And he says, "Now, if you mean us harm, we obviously mean you harm as well, but we mean to simply pass through on a greater mission." And he says, "We will leave you and yours alone if you simply unlock the door and let us through. That is all we desire. Not you, not your home, not your friends, not your family. Just to move through."
Roll me a persuasion, please. Give me 18 or higher. She's incredibly wary and
rolled a
protective.
natural 20.
Okay. First one of the night.
Not-
All right.
Not
very
only
convincing
did he
today.
persuade her, but like those
He
saggy...
seduced her.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's like,
no.
oh, that like hole in the like ribs.
What
she's just,
corpse
like,
over
pulling
there?
stuff over.
I want you. I have a bone for you.
This banshee seems to really give you a lot of trust at this point, even though she's riddled with 3 arrows. She turns to you, Arthur. She kind of just lifts her head up, and you can hear the bones and the flesh just kind of creaking and cracking as she lifts her head. And her jaw doesn't even move, but you hear her voice from inside her mouth just emanating out, and it just says, "The only person who can open the door is my husband."
Her what?
And then,
Husband.
Her husp?
Husband.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, one more time.
You're speaking kind of quietly.
Fuck you. There's
Oh, husband.
No. Hit refresh for me there, Polly boy.
I did.
Okay.
So
There he
Arthur
is.
leans back and he points into the room at Jeeves standing over the corpse with the torch, and he says, "That your husband?"
And she just kind of, with a couple more creaks, like, nods her head with her jaw hanging open.
Then he just simply asks her, "Well, what makes you think he is in any condition?" And then Arthur says, "Unless he's hiding somewhere, similar, stuck in the afterlife, similar as you." Basically, he's asking if he's a ghost. Oh, okay. There we go.
But he responds only to one. She's trying her damnedest not to scream this at you.
When she makes a comment about the one, Arthur's just kind of like, "Who is
One what?
the one ring to rule them all?"
Is evil.
Burn the
That
cookie.
is not a name.
Okay. He probably has hair, maybe 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and his name is.
I don't know his name. All I know is he has imprisoned my husband.
Great.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, this is good. He looks up at Bjorn, and he's just like, "We're getting somewhere."
Bjorn isn't
Speaking in
understanding a
Elvish.
word of this, and he's just like, okay.
He goes
Okay.
back to speak in Elvish, and he's just like, right now, a location of the one who trapped your husband is."
Inside. And she just like lifts a bony hand and points to the massive portcullis.
Yeah, all right.
So we have to get in to unlock the door to get in.
Indeed.
Inception.
Well, if the way that you're going about it.
I think at this point Vera's like, so
I love it. I love it. I fucking love it.
There's quite a high tier enchantment in that guardhouse over there, and I'll walk like towards it because I can sense it for 10 minutes and try and like find where exactly it's coming from.
Okay. It's coming from inside the door to the right.
Okay, I go to that.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm like, it's pretty high level magic, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. Could be dangerous.
I'm gonna roll.
Deal with
I'm
it
gonna.
in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Max's 20 earlier too, and I'm just gonna. I feel like I should let the Banshee say something here that really wants to help. She turns to you, Arthur, and puts her bony hand up against your cheek, your bearded cheek.
Bjorn is very tentative right now.
And
He's
just
touching his
breathes
Arthur
in
boy.
his face, just
Yeah, basically, her tongue just kind of like lolls out of her mouth, and you hear, "I just want rest for my husband."
Would fire bring him rest?
No.
oh,
Stop that then.
And she reaches off of Arthur's face. She reaches down, and off of her left hand, she pulls a very simple looking band off of her ring finger.
Pulls the finger off.
One of the little, like, the tip of her finger is actually missing, but she pulls the ring off of her finger, and she's still holding it. She says, "When I give this to you, I will become worse. Please. It's the only thing that might call to him." And she hands it to Arthur, and she's keeping her hand kind of grasped around the ring. And before you take it, she kind of, with her other hand, grabs your hand and says, "I'm sorry for what comes after this." And she looks at you.
Should I be ready? Should I be ready? No, I don't know what's going on.
Did they just get married?
Arthur, does he want to do anything?
So as like she's like handing him the ring then, and like this creepy bony hand is like on his face, and at first he like recoiled, but then he was like, be charming, and Arthur was just kind of like, okay, like touch me, that's fine, this is fine. And then before he takes the ring, he looks up at Bjorn and he goes, "I don't think this is gonna be fine," and then he just takes the ring from her.
I'm already ready with this hammer.
She
like,
opens up her hands.
Like,
you can tell that it's really difficult. This is like the only beautiful thing that was on her. And she opens up her hands very, very reluctantly. And as she does, you feel the ring drop into the palm of your hand. And as soon as you feel the cold metal of it, she immediately screams and goes lunging at you, mouth wide open still, and tries to basically rip your face off at this point.
Smash it!
All right, I'm gonna need Arthur, you to roll me a dex, with advantage, of course, because you were ready for it, but it's gonna have to be an 18 or higher to get out of the way of that.
Did I have to roll for anything?
Roll the 6.
You rolled a 6. All right, she basically like clamps down on your cheek with her mouth, and
Bjorn,
yeah, I'll because you were ready, Bjorn. I will let you take an action.
Sweet. I'm going to smack it with my hammer.
All right,
with
roll the hit.
20.
Did you roll the 20?
Can't bite me.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Okay.
Damn.
So you with a
Don't
very
touch my Arthur boy.
with a very accurate like hand down strike with your hammer upside down, you just like smash what's left of her skull. And roll damage, please.
Could you pick up me arrows?
No problem. I'm on it.
I probably broke all the arrows.
11.
11. Okay. Her head just caves in as it like smears down the front of Arthur, and she just crumples to the ground and just turns into basically dust and old tattered clothing.
I'm gonna grab the arrows. I'm gonna give them to Tarvok.
All right. Speaking of Tarvok, can you refresh your camera, please?
I can.
Thank you.
I can see everybody but you, but sure. Let's do it again.
While Bjorn's picking up the arrows calmly after smashing, Arthur's like got this like imprint of teeth on his face, I assume,
yes,
from where she bit him.
And
he's just like sitting there breathing real heavily.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna roll damage for that.
He's just like breathing real heavily on his knees. And he's just like,
you take 4 damage.
He's like, I think I might be deaf in this ear now as well. He just kind of like falls back and just kind of sits there holding the ring. And if he puts it on, does he go into like the shadow realm or whatever? Like
share the load. No, you put the ring on and nothing happens. It actually doesn't fit on Arthur's stout fingers. It just kind of like goes down the first knuckle of your ring finger, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay, and how much damage? Sorry, I missed that.
You took 4 damage to the face, and you have a nice little trickle of blood coming out of your cheek there. Because
this was a bite from a banshee,
it is necrotic damage, but
yeah. Can I say he has a scar of like a face, a teeth mark?
Yeah,
on his face now.
Sure.
So it's like bleeding right now, and he's just kind of like, ugh.
It's a teeth
and then like he just kind of keeps wiping it off. But
yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
I'm
He's
sure I
in-
have like a piece of cloth that I could use for like a bandage and just slap it on his face, right?
If you want,
Slap.
sure.
Yeah, sweet.
He doesn't want that. Battle scars.
Chicks
He
dig
can
'em.
still have
Well,
a battle
yeah.
scar, but he doesn't need to bleed everywhere.
So he's just got this cloth that's like stuck to his face.
Your
He's
your
just like,
servant
"Oh, right."
inside the shack turns to you and says, "Sir, are you all right?"
No. I got bit by a banshee, and then she deafened me. No. Go away. Put the torch down out here first, though. Actually, no. You know what? Because of your silly question, you're gonna follow me the rest of the afternoon, okay?
And he just nods to you.
Put the torch out on something non-flammable and come back out here.
All right. He does so. You're all standing around the tattered remains of this banshee. And yeah, you have a ring in your hand.
He holds the ring up, and he
Mhm.
actually looks at it's Vera, not Vrea, right? Vera, yeah.
Mhm.
Vera.
And he goes, "You mentioned enchantment. Do you think this might have something to do with it?" She says
I
that it
should
will
still
call
have.
upon her husband.
Yeah, I should still have detect magic up if it's not been more than 10 minutes.
You do still detect magic, but there's nothing really coming off the ring. You do
Okay,
feel
yeah.
a spiritual link to the ring, of course, being that it was like the most beautiful possession of this banshee, of course, and
Yeah.
and it being a wedding band, from what you can tell. It has definitely got spiritual essence emanating from it, but other than that, there's no other magic spell or anything around it. Just the stuff from inside the guard shack.
Yeah, then she's like, no, that's just a regular ring, or at least it's not particularly magical. However, and then she's just gonna kind of like, she's like tired of waiting at this point, really likes magic stuff, and she's just gonna go in and go right to where she senses the magic item.
You're gonna go in through the locked door.
I mean, I can hit the
Oh,
door
is it
for
still
you.
locked? I
Yeah.
mean, can I like reach my hand through and lift up?
Well, the bar is gone, but there's the lock that you still have yet to defeat.
Yeah, he said there
Oh,
was
I
a
thought it
key.
was locked
The key
by
lock.
the
No, the
thing.
key lock.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna send. Oh, sorry.
I would love someone to help.
Well, I'm gonna send Jeeves back in to search the body.
Okay.
For your insolence, go inside. I want you to check the body, and I want you to find out the name of that heap of bones. But be
Okay.
careful. Do not damage anything.
Tim, do you think you can unlock the door before I try to smash it?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
All right. So your unseen servant goes inside while Tim tries to unlock the door himself. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand, Tim.
Oof. 18 plus 6.
All right. As the servant goes inside and kind of pats down this body and reaches down into its jerkin that's kind of crumbling away, he pulls out a small leather necklace with a key on it. And Tim's already, like, you see these hovering thieves' tools there, and he just pops the lock and the door
Oh,
swings
right.
open.
But Jordan wouldn't know where he is at, so he'd just be like, Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, I need you to unlock this door.
So the door swings open, and your unseen servant comes back to you, Arthur, and he just like casually holds out the key and he goes, "Is this what you're looking for, sir?"
Useless as ever. And he takes the key and he's like, "You're so." And he sees the door, so the door pops open. I assume at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of
Oh.
invisible shit happening.
Arthur's just kind of like, I don't know why I even use you anymore.
All right. And he just like clicks his heels and does a small polite bow.
Just stay in the back. Stay in the back.
All right. Now Vera goes straight for wherever the magic thing is.
All right. Vera, she walks into the guard room there and sees the same stuff that Arthur had noticed.
Bjorn's following her, by the way.
Okay. There's the big panel of levers off to the side. You count actually 3 levers, but next to it is another larger one. Underneath is just a small cabinet, and then off to your right is that small table, and against the wall is the remains of what seems to be the one guard. And when you walk up to
Look
the
at my cap.
remains, you just feel this intense feeling of enchantment coming off of it. Like one of the strongest magical fields you've ever noticed before.
Yes, I ruffled through the clothes or whatever it is, try and find it.
It's coming off of the body itself.
Oh, I see.
And you don't find anything else on this. You don't find anything else on this corpse other than this. It is wearing some exotic chainmail.
I want to pick that up.
Klepto, the
It is too small for Bjorn. However, it does look like it might be worth something.
6'6". I'm keeping it.
All right. You shove that into your pack. As you're pulling the armor off of this body, it just starts falling apart. And Vera, you notice that on the hand, it is too wearing a very simple wedding band, and all the bones just kind of shatter apart.
I will grab the wedding.
Okay.
Hesitantly.
You are holding a very simple gold-plated, it seems, wedding band. And yeah, inside, just inscribed on the inside, all it says. Do you speak Elvish? Yeah, you're an elf. Sorry.
I do speak Elvish.
Inside in Elvish, all it says is simply forever.
Oh,
That's cute.
I'll take the band and hand it to Arthur. Like,
Sure.
here, I found this. They seem to be a pair.
Yes, I believe she was saying that one there, and he points at the now pile of bones, was the husband. And he points back at the dust pile, and he goes, wife. And he looks at both rings, and he says, I think that it took him to open the door, but the door's already open. He takes the key, and he sticks it in the lock anyway, and he locks it, then he unlocks it.
Yeah,
because
it
Tim already
works.
picked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's like, well, I have done that.
Well, there's a few levers in here too.
Yep,
Would
he
you like me
walks
to
over
pull
to the
them?
levers.
They're all the levers are.
Oh, the
in
lever!
they're all in the up position.
I'm gonna pull them down. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. I'm gonna wait till someone tells me to, but I already have my hand on it. I'm like, tell me, let me do
Pick
this.
this one first.
Don't lower those levers yet. Maybe we should look around, see if there's a combination for the levers. I mean, what
That
happens
is
if
a
we pull
good
the wrong
idea,
one?
Tarbok.
I
And
thought
then-
so.
Do we see any chains or anything like that connect to these that give us an indication of where they might lead to?
No, they all seem to be built into this stone wall of this shack.
All right, so
Okay.
I want to take a quick peek around to see if I notice anything that could tell us what's beneficial and what's not.
I guess
Sure.
everyone could, since Tarbok said we all need to do it.
Roll an investigation check if you don't mind.
Oh, I'll check the
17.
cabinet.
I got a 19.
26.
An 8.
Damn.
Tarbok has the great ideas, but he
Doesn't
can't
mean I
execute
can-
them.
I can't see very high.
That is true. You're very short.
What's going on up there?
What did Vera get?
I got a 22.
All right, I think 26 takes the cake. Arthur, as you're all just kind of scrounging around in this room,
26.
y'all don't notice
26.
that all of the remains of this skeleton have like slowly been shifting back into the shape of the skeleton.
No!
And it kind of resumes slumped against the wall that it was slumped against before. It's not doing anything, but it's now somehow intact again. But Arthur, you look around, and the only thing you find in this room is inside the cupboard underneath the levers. And there's a small bundled up scroll inside, kind of tied with a little piece of twine.
Okay.
Cool.
Makes that noise.
So Arthur's going to grab the scroll.
Okay.
And read it.
All right.
He also points out, though, like, bones going back together.
Yeah. You read this
Did I
scroll.
get it?
You unravel it very gingerly. Yeah, you guys all notice the body back together against the wall. Yeah, so you open up the scroll, you undo the twine, you roll it out. It's very cracked and dusty and very faded, but you can read some very, very old Elvish on this scroll. And what it says is, Master Peru has snapped. We must act soon. Don't let him know that we've told you this. We will be waiting outside. Close the portcullis on him as soon as he tries to come through.
Well, they done fucked up. So he got out anyway.
And then it seems to be signed by a random person at the bottom, and there's a bit of a rank insignia for the city guard.
Oh, we gotta wait for Arthur to tell us.
Arthur, of course, tells everybody all of this information.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing here. He just lights it on fire. No, he reads it out loud. So he reads it so everyone can hear whatever he discovered.
Do you think this Bazizi guy enchanted the bones to put themselves back together?
Well, that would make a lot of sense, actually, because, like I said, the Banshee did say that the husband would have to open up the door to allow us to go through.
What if we use his hand to put down levers?
That's a
Or, like,
very good idea, Bjorn.
Throw the skeleton on it.
I think she meant willingly open the door. Unless
Yeah.
it was willingly allowing you to throw it, maybe that would work.
All right, I want to try and do that.
You're just
I'm
gonna
going to
toss
try
this
and-
body onto the levers?
Gingerly, ever so carefully, get these bones
Yeah.
and just throw them on the lever.
I feel like
And,
you're gonna grab it by like the hip bone and like the rib cage and just kind of like slap it down on the levers. As you do that, all the levers actually shift down, and you hear a single ka-chunk, and
it worked.
the body falls apart. And then after a good 10-15 seconds, all the bones just kind of slide back and slump against the wall again.
Weird.
I can't believe that worked.
I just kind of want to take its skull and bring it on adventures, and then let it go and let it roam home.
We'll take the skull then.
That would be amazing.
Take.
I guess
Go ahead,
we
take it.
can. So
The
Bjorn.
klepto was like, "Hey, take stuff too."
wait, no, Bjorn, let's put it in a ball and send it back to Bevington.
Okay,
Oh my god.
There you go.
I'm going
Just
to
write Mason on it.
No, I'm gonna write a little
That's
note.
not a good idea.
Enchanted skull shouldn't do anything bad.
Okay. And you're gonna put it in the
Yeah,
ball.
super
Give
into
this to
this
Alice.
idea.
Oh.
Give this to Alistair. Enchanted skull doesn't know what it does yet. Boom.
Okay. You close the ball, and when you open it up again, it's totally empty.
Good idea, Tarbot.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what's going to happen, but this is a lot of fun for me.
All right.
Alistair will be so pleased.
Steve, better know.
Wow. Oh, the possibilities. All right.
I'm sorry, where are we employed?
Yeah.
Employed
Just
Alistair now, obviously.
fucking performing experiments while you're on the job. All right.
Oh yeah.
So this skeleton no longer has a head.
All right, wait, I gotta
Mr.
request
Peru is
something.
And you can see it just kind of vibrates a little bit against the wall. And that's it. It's just sitting there vibrating.
All you hear is
Session.
rattling against the wall. Just
Yeah.
Do you
I want
think
a
it's
short
going
story
to do
of what
anything
the hell's
else?
doing every
Should we
session.
sit? Should we
Sorry.
He wants a short
want a
story
short
of what it's
story.
doing.
So as the head's trying to make its way back to its body, I want like a short story of like what it's seen, what it's been
Just
doing.
kinda-
I'm imagining a montage, and I would walk 500 miles.
its jaws just opening up so it can hop across the ground.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Terrible. All right.
Do you think we should send the rest of the skeleton too, piece by piece?
There's a
While
lot
they're
of
doing that,
bones.
did anything happen with the switches being hit?
You just heard a single ka-chunk
From where?
somewhere in the mechanism behind the walls.
Should I hit the wall?
Wait, no, let's ask the skeleton.
Should I hit the wall?
Let's ask the
mean,
skeleton. if
Stop
he
beating a
wants to go
dead
with the
horse
rest
or
of it.
wall.
I kneel next to the vibrating skeleton body. So, Mr. Bones, do you want to? Oh, Mr. Bone Jangles. Ha ha ha. Do you want to go with the rest? And I grab the arm and I just shake it.
Um,
I'm with Tarvok. I'm gonna be entertained by this.
nothing
so
really
let's-
happens. It just continues to like rattle around a little bit, and then
Let's
when you
start
let
Can
go
we take
of
a
it,
piece of him with us?
of the
like,
skeleton.
Take a hand?
We'll
think
take an arm, but then let's put everything else in the ball and send it back.
Hold on a minute. I want to try something. So is the skeleton still animated at all or no?
It's just kind of like vibrating in place.
So I'm gonna take the hand of the skeleton and I'm gonna put both rings in its hand, and I'm gonna say, I don't think it can hear. I don't know. It's a skeleton, so it's alive. So I guess what does it really matter if it can hear me or not? I was just gonna
Also,
say
you
to
know.
like where the head should be, basically. Your wife
Sorry.
told me. Your wife had told me, or whoever she is to you, your wife, yes, very important woman, that you would help us upon me setting her free potentially. We need to get by this place. We are hoping that you can join her after this good deed. And he's just kind of like looking like nowhere because the head's not there, but he's just kind of talking.
He can't hear
Talking
you.
at
The
the
head's
wall.
thousands of miles away.
Well, skeleton doesn't have ears. Anyway,
It's a ghost
so-
anyway. The wife said it was a
Exactly.
ghost.
You
So-
you say all this, and as you're putting the rings in the hand, you hear a faint and
Who farted?
from behind you, you farted. From behind you, you hear a voice. And as you all turn to face the panel, you see the figure of a chainmail clad man, a very ghostly figure with no head. And you hear, I was wondering how long it would take you to figure out. I wouldn't mind my head back, please.
We don't know what they're talking about. As I'm like taking one of his other hands, like scratching my ass with it.
Look, don't get too ahead of yourself, okay?
I'm sure we
we have to put our
request to
heads
have your
together
head-
here and figure this one out.
Being so headstrong is useless.
I'm sorry I sent your head away.
We lost our heads.
And it's
Just one, actually. Just one.
It's
Do you have a
this
horse?
figure. You can't
You
tell
could
its
be the
expression.
headless horseman.
If this figure had a face, it would look incredibly disgusted at all of you. But it's just crossing its arms and leaning back against this control panel.
Yeah,
And
he can look as disgusted at me as he wants. He can't see me.
and all you hear is, "What has become of my poor wife?"
Well, first of all, and he turns to Bjorn and Tarvok, and he's like, "Could we please send a note and possibly get the head back? I think he means to help us. Maybe a good idea."
We'll get your head back. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry for sending it without asking permission.
Alright.
So I'm gonna send the note back. Could you please
He
send
just
the
got
head
too ahead of
back?
himself.
All right, you close the ball with the note, and like 30 seconds later, as you're checking it, another note comes back, and it says, "Head gone, hole in wall, not sure where it went."
Perfect.
So the good news is your head's on its way. It just
On its way back. It'll take 5 to 10 business days.
Right now, it's stuck
That's
between
standard
shipping and
shipping, though.
handling. It'll be here momentarily, I'm sure.
So unfortunately, we did ship it with Purelator, and they're pretty rough with things. So yeah, it might be missing a tooth or two when it gets back.
You see this figure just like try to face palm, but its hand goes past where its face would be, and it just stops, and it says again, "My wife." And before any of you can actually respond, you hear coming from outside the door, you hear a faint Bellinor? And
what was that?
Bellinor.
Bellinor. I thought he called her Eleanor. She called him Eleanor.
And you see a figure kind of very floaty like walking into the guard shack, and it is one of the most beautiful elven women you've ever seen. She's dressed in very plain clothes. Looks to be maybe a baker or something like that. She was definitely a tradesperson in a past life. And when she walks into the door, she just kind of bursts into tears. And she says, "What's happened to your head?" And
sorry.
Arthur looks back again at Bjorn and Tarvok like, oh boy.
And you see the figure standing against the control panel just straighten up for a second. He puts his hands behind his back, and he doesn't seem to know what to do with them. He puts them behind his back and then by his side, and then he just starts wringing his hands together. And
just hug her.
Is that what Bjorn says?
Yes.
And as soon as Bjorn says that, he rushes over and they embrace, and she's weeping, and you can hear him faintly weeping, and you guys hear like this weird crunching noise.
Is it the skull?
And from the wall outside the cave, or outside the room, through the cave wall, you hear a and this skull just comes fucking shooting through the wall.
Oh, damn.
And like rattles into the room, ricochets off a couple of walls, and then finds its place back onto the skeleton. And then as that happens, his head seems to like slowly appear, and you see a very ruggedly handsome man. He's very beat up. You guys are just noticing that he has a very large hole through his stomach and his back. But he's softly crying as the two of them are embracing and seemingly not seeing each other for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And
I thought she was going to kiss his neck hole.
Yeah, me too.
And after a couple, you all kind of stand back, give them their moment. And after like maybe a minute or so of them talking and saying their "I love yous," they all turn to you, and he says, "Is this simply all it took?"
Yeah. It was. We brought the rings back, put it in your hand, and here you are.
Nothing else happened. We didn't accidentally send your head across the desert.
Nope. That didn't actually affect anything.
Oh, that didn't happen.
And he turns back to his wife and he says, "Hyra, I have to stay. I'm sorry this magic is binding me. But please go rest." And she just starts sobbing uncontrollably again, and she turns to you guys and she says, "You promised you would free him."
We haven't gotten to that part yet. He just popped up. We got to figure out how to get him away for after this. It's a process.
My friend is not wrong, and he says that he repeats it in Elvish. He says, "My friend is not wrong. There are ways for these things to work. It just might take a little bit of time."
Okay. And Vera would definitely speak up and be like, I'm sorry, I'm not strong enough to break the spell yet."
And he just kind of nods at you guys very solemnly, and he turns back to Hyra and he says, "Trust them. I think they mean well." And he turns back to you guys once more and he goes, "Up, up, down."
Up, up, down.
Left, right, select, start.
Maybe.
And he says it again. He says, "Up, up, down." And he turns and nods towards the three smaller levers.
Bjorn!
Oh, Bjorn?
I'm gonna be doing this right now! I'm so excited! Alright. Up, up, down. Let's go.
You shift all the smaller levers to up, up, down in that order. Well, the third one was already down. And for each lever that you shift, you hear a ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And nothing really seems to be happening yet.
What's the next thing?
And he just looks over at the larger lever that's next to the 3 smaller ones.
Bjorn, pull the lever, Bjorn.
Yes.
And as soon as you pull that down, the ground starts shaking below you guys, and you look outside
Again.
the door, and the portcullis is slowly raising up. And and Bellinor, he turns to Hyra and he gives her one last embrace, and he says, "Go rest. I'll see you soon, I promise." And she's still crying, but she seems to be trusting of him, anything that he's saying, and she just kind of like floats backwards and then just fades from view. He turns to you guys, kind of walks over to his body and slumps down casually on the wall, clutches the hole in his chest, gives you a wink, and then fades from view.
So
And that,
before we go through it, I mean, his bones are very clearly magically like encased here. So if we take his head and we use it as a bullet, so if we like position ourselves and then we just let it go, will he just like eat the necromancer?
We can try.
Just position behind him.
Here we
Let
go.
the head go.
One of us runs behind him. Let it go now.
I'm going to take the head. And I'm going to hold on to it.
all right.
Bjorn, I think maybe, considering you are a man of religious background, maybe it might be better to say a few kind words.
No, I got this.
You're gonna do great things one day.
I'm gonna like pet the skull. So, you want some revenge? And I just lift it off his head, off the body. You're coming with us for a little bit, Scully. And I just put him in Bjorn's bag.
Oh my god, I'm getting images from the movie Mystery Men. Does anybody remember that movie?
Very vaguely.
Spleen.
With the
Yes.
bowling ball with the skull in it that just
Yeah.
fucking sails through things. Oh my god.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah, basically. All right, so you put it in your bag, Tarvok?
I put it in Bjorn's bag.
Oh, in Bjorn's bag. Okay.
Yeah, the one
All
with
right.
all the junk in it.
All right. And that's where we're gonna have a quick break. Actually, we're gonna take about 9.5 minutes, less than 10 minutes at least, hopefully. And we'll see you guys when we're back. So don't go anywhere. Get some snacks, get some water, go pee. We'll see you in a few minutes, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, I'm not going to say a whole lot once again, but I just want to mention that we are going to be doing after hours podcasts after the end of every story arc. So keep in mind during the next couple of episodes, if you have any questions that crop up, write them down, send them to us on Twitter or Discord, and we'll try and answer those in the After Hours podcast. We love to hear from you guys. Also, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to, again, jump in the Twitter, jump in the Discord. Let us know what you think we could do better, what you think that we're doing wrong, or what you love that we're doing right. We enjoy every interaction with you guys, and we really are just plain happy to have you along with us. I'm going to jump right back into the episode, so I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for hanging in there, you guys. We have a nice break where apparently I wasn't allowed to know something and kitty cats were discussed the whole time.
Panther.
Panthers, too. We want to thank you guys all again for being here week after week. It really helps what we do become even more fun because we love talking about it with you guys afterwards. So that being said, check out the Discord, check out the Twitter, go say hi, drop us some questions. We'll answer them in the After Hours podcast. What else do we have? We're going to do a team event at the end of this week. I know initially there were talks about charity events, but we're going to hold on to a charity event until we can really solidify something in that regard. So this end of the week, we're actually going to try and push this channel, the Ret-Con-Artists channel, up into the follower numbers for affiliate status. So if you guys want to bring your friends, come show us some support. We're going to do a bit of a streamathon starting on the evening of Friday. All of the details haven't totally been worked out yet, but we are going to be playing a team game to start off. with at least most of us that can make it, hopefully all of us that can make it. And then we're going to be staying up late all through the wee hours, all the way through, and we might even hand off the stream to each other every now and then, take maybe like a little 5-minute break here and there and let the other person take over.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a time.
Could be a time.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have too much else to announce. Vlad, if you're here, I want you to know that I have very big plans for your character that you sent me. So keep watching ahead for that. Also,
he'll watch the podcast if he can't make it.
Absolutely, I know he will. And if anybody else wants to be in the game, if you want a character named after you, go ahead and tweet us with our Twitter tag, hashtag Ret-Con-Artists, or you can tweet at us at Ret-Con-Artists TV, and let us know if you want a character named after you, and we will do so. We're going to add them to a list of names.
Oh, yeah.
Just have some fun with it. We've got some great characters lined up, and it'll be fun
names.
To add some people in.
I usually do the names like very last second, so if I have a character idea and I think a name's going to fit well, I'm going to plunk it right in there.
There you go.
Yeah, so
I guess I got a thing.
What's that? You go first.
Okay, my thing. And I talked about this in the After Hours podcast we did. And I want to say, Ken, you did it again. Okay? You took a random banshee encounter that should just be kill the banshee, D&D, move past it, and you made it mean something really cool, and now that banshee is like a cool character within the world. So I just have to give you more props because that was a really fun encounter.
Thanks, man. Yeah. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
I have to come back and like dispel it or something. Like
I think you guys
like
somehow played his ego anymore. I told him that he was awesome the last time.
I think you guys somehow fumbled through enough where you're able to pretty well dispel this if you follow through with what you've promised. I'm just saying, like,
I want to touch base on in regards for the weekend.
Yeah,
is again the only really person, and not to badmouth anybody else, but the only other person that I really hear from is Vlad. So if you're here, or if you want to shoot a DM to Ken as an example, I'm going to be available on the weekend evenings. So if you want to see us do something dumb, just let us know.
Right? So is mud wrestling out of the question?
Never. That is pretty fun.
Never out of the question.
It's like minus 30 degrees Celsius here, so the mud's going to be a little solid.
Yeah,
it's Canadian. You can take it.
We're in sharp mud.
Sharp mud,
aka ice.
Anyway,
instead of water, just use maple syrup.
Yeah,
dude.
There you go.
Have you ever poured maple syrup on a hairy body? Listen, man, I'm a goddamn Sasquatch. Oh, thank you.
I'm clipping that. Oh my god.
Another
terrible.
Yeah.
That's not even Tarbok. Have you ever poured maple syrup on a hairy body?
Wait, say it again in Tarbok's voice, then it will be.
Have you ever poured maple syrup on a hairy body? Let me tell you something. I'm a bloody Sasquatch. It's not a fun time.
There you go. Now it's official.
So good.
Oh, good God. Okay. Yep. Well, that's all we have for announcements, I think, at this point. So if you want more of our stupidity...
Good night.
Yeah, if you want more of our stupidity, come on back next week. Or this weekend, sorry. But again, next week, next Tuesday, we'll be doing the same shit as usual. But this weekend, yes, come on by. We're going to be being silly in general and just doing whatever the hell we want on stream. So it'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to jump right back in. So you guys are leaving this little shack that is the guard room. You've opened up the portcullis. You've seen it raise all the way up. There's still a little chunk of it kind of poking out from the top of the doorway that you see. This doorway, I'm going to say, is like 30 feet tall. This cave is really large, actually. As you're walking out, Bjorn, about 10-15 seconds passes, and you feel a tug at your back. Are you going to, like, roll to resist it, or... Okay, yeah, roll me a strength check to resist against this tug.
Fucking keeping this! That's right! fucking 19 plus 4. I'm fucking keeping this.
All right, so you
My skull.
in your steps, you kind of grab the straps of your pack and you just brace yourself against it, and you just hear a quick, and your pack just lets loose, and you go flying forwards a couple of steps, and some of the contents of your pack go spilling out, including
Please hold the adventure. I need to mend my pack.
The chainmail kind of spills out, as well as that wooden ball that you had in there, and the skull just goes snapping back into the room. You hear it bounce around a couple of times and then find its place again.
Did the vial of purple mist fall out as well?
No, because that's in my pocket.
Ah,
it's not my pack.
Retcon number 2. All right.
That's not a retcon. It's in my pocket.
Okay, yeah, Bjorn said he put it in his pocket.
Good. All right. So no, it didn't fall
that
out.
was my bad. I really thought we'd be able to like weaponize the skull.
It's okay, Tarbok. I can fix this. So now I'm gonna mend my pack and put everything back in it, I guess.
Do you have a sewing kit?
No, I have mending the spell.
Oh, you do. All right.
I do.
Your pack does kind of weave back together, but it's looking pretty tattered. It still holds the same amount of stuff, but it looks pretty messed up.
I mean, it is an old backpack, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll get you a new one when we head back to, I guess, base. Do we call it base?
I think we call it base now.
The homestead.
You said something from beyond the grave.
It appears like the department.
There you go. That works. Better knows.
The office.
Oh.
All right, sorry. Shit. So
now you have to do a character in Kevin's voice.
Nice. Have you tried my chili? All right.
Okay.
Sorry. Back on track here. All right. So you walk around the guard shack, and you're now standing in front of the stairs that lead up to this very large door. And this door seems to be made of very heavy wood, almost like what's the one I'm thinking of? Oh my god.
Can I hit it?
Sure. You walk up and you see 2 very large brass rings on the front of the door. And
I want to try the door before I hit it, though.
It seems a little not opening. It doesn't. Right. It is resisting you as you try and push this door open.
All right, let me hit it.
Right,
wait, so before you hit it, is it a pull door, Bjorn? Do you pull on the door?
I'm gonna try both push and pull just in case Tarbok is right.
The door also does not budge.
It's neither.
All right.
Thank you for checking that.
That would have been embarrassing.
But if there's one thing else that we know we can do is you can beat
Tim, try to open the door.
There's no keyhole actually on this one.
Wait, Tim? Is it not budging?
It's not budging, no.
Oh.
So I should hit it. Well, wait. I'm gonna try tackling the door first. I'm going to run full speed into the middle of the door where the doors meet to try and break it forward.
So while Bjorn's doing that, I'm just going to look around to see if I notice anything first.
Sure. Roll me a perception check. And while you're doing that, I also want to welcome Holyfield to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Good seeing you again tonight.
All right, here we go. So I guess just investigation, huh?
Perception.
Oh, okay.
You're not looking for anything specific, are you?
No, just something out of the ordinary that might open a door. And I got 18 plus 1, so 19.
All right. You look back throughout the cavern and the tunnel behind you. Nothing's really standing out except for the corners of the buildings that are kind of poking out at random from the walls of this cave. You just see random stalactites and stalagmites here and there. That's about it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna wait for Bjorn to tackle the door.
Hey, if it doesn't work, then I'll let you smart folks figure it out.
All right, roll me a strength check against this door, please.
All right, here we go. 15. 15 plus 4.
All right. You how do you do it? Like, how are you just running at it, or are you just like slamming
All
it?
right. I'm gonna loosey goosey first. Gotta get loose.
Cracks the neck.
No one can tackle without it. I'm gonna. Let's see. I think I want to use like. I need something to like brace my arm. I do have a shield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to.
Shield charging the door.
That would help. So I'm going to put my shield up, and I'm just gonna sprint like, and I'm gonna yell really loud. I'm gonna be like, "Ah!" And I'm gonna run into it as hard as I can, which is a 19.
All right. With your yell, roll me a performance check to see how loud that can be, actually, too.
Fucking.
Rolls a 1, starts whispering.
Voice cracked.
No. I don't think I have any performance. All right.
How'd your charisma?
I don't have any of that.
No.
In the negatives.
16. It was gonna be negative.
All right.
But...
You with a very loud yell, you go slamming against this door, and for a split second, you think you hear cracking wood on the other side.
Guys, I think I did something. I'm gonna do it again.
And you hear all of a sudden some rumbling behind you, and you all turn back and you see which one hangs from the ceiling? Stalactite or mite? Tight to the ceiling. No, might fall on your head, tight to the ceiling. Stalagmite. I think I got that backwards, but it doesn't fucking matter. One of the spiky things on the ceiling kind of like
one of the rocks
snaps off, falls to the ground, and you hear like a rumbling still. And you see another one crack off and fall to the ground.
Uh-oh.
And then they all start to crack off and fall to the ground. You're gonna what? Sorry?
I'm gonna try the door to see if I got it open.
You feel a little bit of give, but no, it's not opening.
All right, I'm gonna hit it with my hammer.
Okay, roll the hit.
Everybody
Go,
should.
Bjorn,
Hey,
go,
everybody,
Bjorn.
hurry up and get over here! I'm gonna try and make the
Am I
situation worse.
Scottish? Sorry, I didn't see messages. No, I'm not Scottish.
Are
It's
you
his
sure?
character.
Because apparently you're really convincing.
Really? I'm drunk all the time. I guess that's close enough. Sorry, Dave.
I mean,
cut into stuff.
19 plus 4.
All right, roll damage, please.
Yay!
Smack that door.
I'm gonna smack it hard. All right. 9.
All right, you hear some splintering behind the door, and it doesn't quite. You see it like rattle open a little bit, and you can see that it is barred from the other side by a very heavy bar of wood. Behind you, the rumbling is getting worse, and there's spikes just falling into the stream behind you, and you hear it all splashing, and you can see the
Tim,
pool.
can you set this door on fire or something? Use firebolt.
And all of a sudden, you see the very far end from where that pool was start to cave in towards you guys, and you hear rushing water coming down the way. Who's up?
I'm gonna hit that door again.
Okay, roll the hit.
18.
All right, roll damage. Give me 7 or more damage.
Oh, yeah, that is 11.
Okay, you with a big swing, you smash through this door,
I'm afraid of water.
and the water comes barreling towards you guys, and the rest of the tunnel starts just collapsing in on itself. All this stone that's been holding up for thousands of years, it just starts falling down into the stream, and the water comes rushing at you guys.
I'm sorry, guys.
The door, it bursts open, and it's enough room for you all to go in there, but the water's really quick on your tail. I'm going to need you all to roll dex saves to try and stay on your feet.
Run!
Well, I needed a bath.
I know, right?
Ooh, nice.
17.
Total 20.
Nice.
Rolled an 8.
18.
15 plus 5. I got a 20.
Goodness gracious.
And sorry, Bjorn, what did you get?
I got a 17.
All right. Everyone except Arthur stays on their feet as this waist-high water comes smashing into you guys. Arthur, you get knocked back a little bit, and you feel your head kind of...
Well, see you later.
Yeet!
It's waist high for everybody else, but Tarvok's just
Yeah, Tarbok, you're just like taking it right in the face and just not worried. It's like right up to your nose, basically.
He's just mean mugging the water.
Yeah. Trying to drink it. Anyway, so Arthur, you go kind of sliding back as you turn to see this wall of water hit you kind of square in the torso, and you go flying back and you feel your head crack against something kind of hard. So roll me a 1d4 for damage, please. What was that, Tarvok? A 1. Okay, you take 1 damage as you bump your head on something very solid.
Oh.
The water continues back. Sorry?
I was gonna say, is there any way I could help Arthur? Or is he just gone in the water? Just bye.
No, it's a little too late for that. Maybe if you said something earlier.
Well, I didn't think about it, and I don't think Bjorn would have either. There's water everywhere.
Yes, and this water goes flushing back into the room that you've just opened up, and it, as you look around, you see it's a very large, very opulent, almost like a lobby of sorts to some sort of hotel or palace or who knows what, some sort of center of sorts. And you can see there's 6 doors ahead of you on either side. It's perfectly symmetrical. Arthur, you've struck your head against what seems to be a very large marble fountain in the center of the room. The fountain has long since been dry. Up until now, it's just been filled with a little bit of water that came rushing in. And there are 2 more identical fountains further dotting the center of the room all the way down. At the very back is a large set of ornate double doors with an archway style of door, I suppose you could say. In the 2 rooms, the ones on your right and your left, there is a heavy barred window on the right next to the door. And they seem to be almost like ticket booths or like teller stations or something like that. Some weird station for somebody to work behind in safety with the bars, the super heavy bars. Yeah, the water kind of rushes
forward, right?
Yeah, you got washed into the room. You smack the back of your head against the fountain, and the rest of the water is now spilling back into the room, and it's leaving just like maybe like an inch or 2 level of water in this massive room. It seems to be probably, I would say, about 80 feet long and about 40 feet wide, this room.
So Arthur kind of rolls on the ground, and he says to himself, Jeeves, you're useless. And he kind of puts his hand on his head, and he stands up, and he looks around, and he's like cross-eyed a little bit. He's like, I'm home. No. He blinks again, looks around. He's just like, ugh. And he notices all the things like you described.
Mm-hmm.
And he just turns around and looks back towards the group that are whatever amount of feet back the other way, I guess. Can I see them still? Or how far do I go?
Yeah, they're all standing basically like inside the doorway there.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I think I said run. So I'm going to move forward.
Okay. Yeah, he's just kind of like standing there, and he's just kind of like waving and holding his head.
Yeah. All right.
Walk it over.
Jeeves
Does anybody have a towel?
Jeeves is no longer there. I'm gonna assume that he took some damage from that wall, and he only had 1 hit point anyways, so he is actually no longer there. You just did remind me of his previous presence. All right. So you're all standing inside this very, very large foyer of sorts, and there are 6 doorways, 3 on either side.
Oh. Where to go first?
Well,
So maybe we could
is there any
have a look
signs?
around. Maybe there's going to be, like a sign telling us what's left.
We won't miss any more signs now because we're always gonna look for them.
You don't actually see really many signs, but dotting the doors over top of the doors are just simple triangular shapes, and they're all different colors actually. In the first one on your right, it's just sorry, hold on one second, I'm reading my notes here. It's got like a purple triangle over top of the door. In the one further up on the right, it's got a yellow triangle, and then the next one down has a green triangle. On the left, it goes pink triangle. Sorry, I'm reading my terrible writing. Oh my god. A red triangle and then a blue triangle. So it goes purple, yellow, green, pink, red, blue.
Purple is my favorite color. I'm going towards that one.
Okay. What are you doing? Just going towards it?
Yeah. I'm just gonna walk towards it.
All
I'm
right.
gonna wait to see if anyone stops me first.
I will follow.
Yeah, you kind of splash through the little bit of water as it's slowly draining back out into, and you look back outside and you notice that the water from the stream has been cut off by the cave-in behind you, and it's just slowly trickling down through the drainage area that you had noticed before, and the water from inside is slowly trickling back out of the doorway and rushing down the stairs and draining away. You walk up to the purple room, and you do notice the heavy barred window on the left side of the door, and just a very simple looking, I guess, office type door is there, and it's got a keyhole.
Take a peek in the window.
I shouldn't hit this door. I should stop hitting doors.
Well, you could politely knock to see if anybody's home.
I'm gonna politely knock.
Bjorn's favorite enemy is a door. You do softly knock on the door very politely, and do you say anything?
Hello? Is anyone there?
You hear nothing.
Vera will peek through the barred window.
Sure.
See if there's anything in there.
You look inside, and there really isn't much there. There's actually, you expect some furniture in what looks to be like this almost like a teller's office. But there really isn't anything in there except for just a strange, like, bin, I guess you could say. It looks to be just like a junk bin.
How many of these
like
teller booths are there?
There's the one on your right and the one on your left. Purple and pink seem to be the ones that have the barred windows. The other ones just have stone walls and doors.
I mean, how many
just one
parse offices are there?
Just one. It's a single office room, it seems to look like.
Okay, never mind. That alleviates that theory.
He was like, Bjorn, is the door
Is there a door
open?
that goes into like the main? Is there a main office?
Or a main looking office?
It seems like from what you can see looking in this window. Are you still invisible, by the way, Tim?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Somehow.
Splash.
It seems that you could tell that this is a single open room, and that whoever used to maybe work or reside here or whatever it was had this room to themselves. That's about it. It might even be like a guard station. Yeah, there's the door that with the purple triangle over it.
Oh, all right. Well, Tim's gonna try up and go and try to unlock it.
Okay. You crouch down with your tools, and everyone sees these little tools kind of poke out again from.
I found
Tim. And as you stick your rake and your wrench in there, the door just swings open.
Good job, Tim. You did great.
I didn't do that.
You're a hero in my head. I'm gonna walk inside.
All right. You walk in with your helmet on, and you look around, and there's an old burnt out torch on the wall. There's this small bin just kind of shoved off in the corner, and that's about it. There's really nothing else. There's a few little tattered bits of cloth here and there. There's a couple of small bits of wood that are just like broken off. No, not strangely. There's no desk.
No desk. This was their jumping jacks room.
Well, they did all their exercise.
I don't know why it's empty.
Yoga studio.
All right.
I guess we go to the other side.
I guess I'm gonna. So if I try to attempt to investigate this room just in case,
what are you looking for?
Find anything
are you
fucking
looking for?
something. Just
That
anything.
door is
That would be a
Open, we're
perception
looking.
check.
I
And I've
just
told
want-
you everything that's already in the room from walking in there.
I know, but like, I want to investigate. There has to be something in here. A secret door.
The Ben is a mimic.
That's what I thought was
His
gonna
name
happen.
is Ben.
Trash that tells me someone's name from 8,000 years ago,
I think
or just
you might be making this a little too complicated for yourself right now, honestly. just
It's
pick
never
something
just
you want to
an empty
investigate.
room. It's never just an empty room.
You're right. It usually isn't.
Vera's gonna go to the yellow door and just try and open it.
It is locked tight.
Oh,
Roll me a perception check.
okay. That'll be 22.
All right. When you try the door, you hear a small shuffle noise from the other side, and then
Oh, I quickly something's behind this door.
Tim, open it. I will hit whatever is on the other side.
Yeah, Tim will go over with his.
I can just imagine Tim being like, "Ah."
You can't even
Just the
see-
floating
Yeah, this
lock picking set.
all right. So this time you stick your lockpick set into this door, and it doesn't swing open. And this time you can notice that this lock is actually extremely, extremely intricate. I'm gonna need you to roll me a 24 or higher.
Whoa.
Well,
Can I hit this door
let's
if he
see
fails?
here.
Fucking doors.
Still want that sleight of hand?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm not hitting it until Tim fails.
Got a 19 plus 6.
Ah!
Ah!
25.
You seem to like somehow just twist your way through this lock, and it takes a lot. It takes a good minute, but finally you hear a click, and you know that you've succeeded.
Nice.
Step back, Tim, wherever you are.
Well, I got it. Just be ready.
All right, I am gonna be at the ready. I am so
Yeah.
ready to, and I will. Everyone behind me, behind the 6-foot man.
I have my eco whip ready.
Tarvok, are you ready?
Yeah, I've got my bow drawn and an arrow knocked.
Arthur, does your head not hurt anymore?
Where am I? Yes. Oh, yes.
He has a concussion. It'll be fine. Stay back there.
He
Okay.
doesn't need to see a doctor.
You get 6 in your lifetime and then you die.
All right. Everyone's ready. We're ready to go. I'm gonna open the fucking door.
All right. Roll initiative.
Fucking what
Roll
up?
As you open the door, standing directly in front of you with the beam of light in their face are two half human, half furniture zombified creatures.
This is going to be a hard
They're
thing
Zimics.
to do.
And
It's quick Cinderella it.
Yeah, they're coming towards you. So go ahead and roll initiative for me, please, everyone.
What kind of furniture are they? Are they like a chair and a desk?
They're like
or
a
are they
mix of everything
Or
you might
trash
find in an
can.
office. There's a guy with like it looks like almost like a typewriter for a chest.
Yes!
They're like
I'm hitting
office
that one.
centaurs.
Office centaur.
So
I
weird.
got it.
13.
Oh,
All right.
No, I got it 2 plus whatever my stuff is. I got a 4.
I got 19.
Okay. All right. So, who got 13, sorry?
I'm sorry, it was a 14 now.
14. Okay. So
my plus
Arthur got 14 and 19 someone said.
That was me.
And okay, Tarvok, anyone above that?
Nope.
Anyone below 14?
Nope. Higher.
Okay. So Tarvok, who's 18?
15.
Anyone between 15 and 19?
No.
Arthur and then Bjorn? 4?
4.
Josh? 3.
Wraith.
All right. So here is the initiative.
Eco's still turning into a whip.
All right. So it's going to go
Bjorn is
Tarvok.
shocked that these are half people and really likes typewriters.
Tarvok, Tim, Arthur, Zombie 1 and 2, Bjorn, and Vera. That's how it's going to go. Tarvok, you're up. You've got this 6'6" person blocking the door in front of you. But you kind of see these, like, strange creatures inside.
All right.
If you want, you're probably small enough to, like, duck between my legs and, like, shoot between my legs.
I'm actually going to take my turn, and I'm going to cast... What is that spell? Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
So my next range attack, everything within 5 feet will take an extra 1d10 damage. 1d10 piercing damage. And half as much on a successful saving throw.
Okay. And
So,
now, are
with
you going to
that-
want to say anything to anyone?
With that, I'm going to reposition myself. So I'm going to... Is there any way that I can get a higher vantage point?
You could hop up onto the fountain. I guess it would bring you up another 5 feet, roughly.
All right, so I'm going to scale the fountain then.
Okay.
And just tell Bjorn to stay clear when I let an arrow loose.
Okay.
Just so you remember, Hail of Thorns is a bonus action. So you can also shoot if
Okay,
you
there you
wanted
go.
Oh,
to.
I just know it's on my next attack. So again, it's everything within 5 feet. So unless I magically like swing it past Bjorn's shoulder.
Sure, yeah.
I will jump back as soon as I can.
So I mean, I can try. I mean, my bonus to hit's pretty high.
Okay, well, you, so you're trying to actually hit right now, is what you're saying? Is that what you said?
Can I
You
see into
when
the
you
room?
hop up onto the fountain, you do get a slight line of sight over Bjorn's shoulder, so it's going to have to be a pretty fucking good shot. Also, I want to tell you this much. When you hop up onto the fountain, you hear a small kunk as you stand on the very top center of it.
God damn it. God
Okay.
damn it.
Okay. If I do have a line of sight,
Mm-hmm.
so I can see one of them. Yeah, I guess I'll take a pot shot. There's no harm in it. I mean, we can, in case
All
I
right.
fuck up.
even though this thing is probably not got the greatest armor class, to squeeze it through Bjorn's like shoulder space and door, I'm going to need you to roll me an 18 or higher to hit.
Please
Sure.
don't
So
hurt
it's
me.
it's +7. Don't forget.
I know.
I know. I'm the worried one.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here.
21.
All right. You fire
Tarmac
an
has
arrow
not
through.
hurt me again.
Go ahead and roll me some damage, please.
So it's 1d8 +3 for the initial.
Okay.
I dropped that. Can I roll again? Like I caught it in mid-fall.
Sure.
So that's an 8 +3 for 11.
All right. Your arrow goes
And,
whistling
hold on.
past. Okay.
I also have a 1d10, which you can roll
Is that
against.
not
but
for your next one though? Isn't that what you said? It's on your
Yeah.
next attack.
So I cast as
Oh,
Josh put it.
Right.
So it was a bonus action. So
Right.
this is my next
Okay.
attack.
Sure. All right.
So
And I roll against that with what?
you're going to be rolling a save against it. So it's my spellcasting ability is Wisdom
Mm-hmm.
for this. It's a Dex saving throw.
Okay. Of.
So 11 or higher.
It does not succeed. Go ahead. Give me that
Cool.
damage.
So it's an extra 5 damage to the one within view, and then anything within 5 feet of him. So
Okay.
it would do 5 damage to the other one as well.
All right.
So the first one takes 15.
So the
Jesus.
first one that you're firing at, it takes the arrow right to its face, and as Bjorn's looking at this thing, its face is actually made out of like almost like a little lockbox of sorts, and you could see like the top half of the head is like a big chunk of lockbox sticking out, and the bottom half has like an eye kind of lower down looking at him. And its mouth is just kind of like off to the side, hanging open, and you
So don't
strike
crush
it. No, wow, terrible. And I agreed to that. All right, so you your arrow actually like strikes it clean in the like between its eye and its mouth, and its head just goes spinning off, and it just crumples to the ground. The other one does take some residual damage from the impact, and it gets knocked back like 5 feet from Bjorn and takes 5 damage.
Cool.
Woo.
Thank you. Even though I'm in the way.
All right, Tim.
This is how we do it back in the mountains.
Tim, you're like off to the side of the door. I'm guessing. What do you want to do?
Take a couple more feet to the side and remain invisible.
There's not much anyone really can do.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the way.
Just being ready. Just being ready.
Yeah. Arthur, you're up.
Okay. Arthur in his
There's
fog.
a second door in the way.
Yeah. Wait, what is... Can he even see anything at all? Aren't they all blocking the door?
You can't quite see, but you can hear these strange sounds coming from inside, and you know that Tarvok just shot at something on the inside. I'd say from your angle, yeah, you probably can't really see much past Bjorn. Uh-oh.
I think we lost you
Picking
there
off
for a
for-
sec.
What?
Your
Can you hear me?
camera's froze. There we go. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think something's going on with my internet. I keep, like, lagging in and out here.
All good.
Okay, so Arthur's gonna run up behind Bjorn.
Yep.
Kind of like bump into him a little bit. He's gonna kind of like try and peek past him to see
Yep.
what's going on in there.
You do see.
And he's just gonna. Does he see? He sees an enemy, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you see one with a big ass typewriter for a chest, and he's like missing half of his arm on his right side, and he just looks disgusting. And he's got like gray goo coming out of his eyes.
And he's gonna stare at it, and he's gonna be like, "That there is just the ugliest damn thing I have ever seen." And he's gonna viciously mock it.
Whoa.
Oh shit! All right,
I don't know, my concussion, whatever that means.
all right. So you cast vicious mockery.
Yeah, I think you have to roll wisdom saving throw.
All right. What's the number?
14.
Okay. It rolls a nat 20.
Okay,
Oh.
it still takes 4 damage,
Okay.
but it will not have the disadvantage imposed upon it.
So when you say that is probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen, you hear a couple of clicks and a king as the typewriter kind of slides off to the side, and it starts laughing at what you just said, but then it still seems to strike home for a second, and it go like, and it just like crumples to the ground into like a pile of like flesh and goo and typewriter, and it is no longer alive. Well, it is no longer
Bjorn, I
undead.
think I got that one.
Good job.
All
I'm
right,
impressed.
you are all officially out of combat. Congratulations.
Oh, wow. That
You
was
know.
easy.
Yeah.
I was the shield against the things that wouldn't have hurted us. I'm gonna walk inside.
Sure. All right.
And I'm going to click on the typewriter.
Okay.
A tooth pops out.
You kind of rattle away at the typewriter a little bit, and you see like where the paper would be rolling up, there's like a little bit of lung kind of flowing through it.
That is
And-
disgusting. Okay,
and-
so I'm done being amused. What's in this room?
All right. You all look around the room. I'm assuming you're all kind of gonna file in there at this point. You all
I'll
look
stay
around this
outside.
room. Okay.
Me too.
It appears to be a nicely appointed room. There's kind of it's super dirty, of course, with how old this place is. It's not the same type of torches on the wall. They're actually very nice, like sconce style torches. And then you sorry, that just really distracted. I'm sorry. You look around and there's just a few nice ornate paintings of it looks to be like elven people on the walls, and they're super faded and cracked, and yeah, there's again not really anything for way of furniture aside from actually one very large plush looking couch at the back wall.
I'm going to sit on the couch.
Okay. You sit on the couch, nothing really happens. It's
Damn
just
it.
very plush. You have a poof of dust comes up and like from between the cracks in the cushions.
This is an unimportant couch.
Well,
All
it's
right.
quite
Yes,
comfortable.
Is not amused anymore.
Check it for
Is-
coins.
It's just a couch, Bjorn.
The typewriter lung just like
What?
pushed him over the edge.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave.
Uh,
I sit on the couch and I'm like, damn it, this couch does nothing for me. Get up and leave the room. I'm
I'm
upset
going
that
to.
there
There's
is
some kind of
nothing
sick
cool
joy
here.
out of this.
Bjorn, the typewriter things weren't cool enough, huh?
No, I can't take the typewriter. It's attached to someone.
Well, I imagine if you pull hard enough, it'll probably come right off.
I don't think that we really want to be carried around like lung-filled typewriters.
Jordan's kind of sad, and he's like, I don't.
But we'll find a souvenir. Don't you worry. I mean, I want one too. So let's.
Okay,
Let's
I have a question.
Yeah, answer.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to
That's
talk
fine.
over you, Paul. I was like,
That's
my
okay.
internet's hacked up, so it's cutting in and out. But anyway, could I cast mending on the typewriter just to fix the typewriter to make it come apart from the living thing? So like I cast it, will it just become a typewriter on its own again?
What is mending? I'm guessing is verbal and somatic, right?
Yes.
If you can amuse me with a proper, I guess, spell process, then I'll say yes.
Okay. It's also a touch. So Arthur kind of like meanders over to the typewriter, kind of smiling to himself because he knows Bjorn likes his typewriter. And he likes it when he carries around miscellaneous things. So Arthur gets down and kind of like touches the goop, and he's just like, hey, kind of like flicks it off his hand. And he puts his hand on the typewriter and he just kind of starts typing. And he just goes, my story, I need paper to finish my story. He just kind of starts typing out like what's been happening to him on the typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's doing this, he's basically like,
You
the
see the
magic
little,
would be him
you see the
wheeling
little
it back.
hammers
Yeah.
imprinting elvish letters on the lungs for a split second.
exactly. It just
Yeah.
kind of starts working more and more and more if it does in fact start working as far as the mending spell. And the pieces kind of come together that have came off, and I imagine like the goop kind of starts coming out of the typewriter, and it kind of starts clicking properly after so long.
And your spell word would be?
Moment
Moment of truth.
I'm not sure. Hang on. I can think of some that pertain to the actual like situation, but a common one for mending. He just says rebuild you will, rebuild you must, or something like that. So rebuild, we'll say, is his word.
Hmm.
No. He says stitches. Because he's cloth. He's used to fixing cloth. So
Okay.
stitches.
As you continue to type out what's been happening for the day, you see the lungs slowly like filter out of the barrel area of where the paper
Just
would
slaps
be,
down onto the ground.
and it just kind of like rolls out and kind of onto the ground there, and and as you continue typing the story, you notice, okay, it's actually working again, and then you hit the tab button and it springs the barrel back over, and it seems to be a fairly functional typewriter.
Bjorn, I
Yes.
have something for you, my friend.
Yes.
And he holds up the typewriter.
There's still a little
Clean
goop on it.
log.
For the most part, there's still a
He'll-
little
He sees it. He just kind of like tips it to try to like, get it to fall off.
goop.
And he offers the typewriter to Bjorn.
I am going to take this typewriter. It is mine now. I'm going to hug this typewriter. I'm glad you're not part of a person now.
Oh, Veer kind of like comes over and is like, "Oh, I could help," and then she like flicks Flu at it, and then does like a little prestidigitation clean on the typewriter.
Perfect.
Brand
This-
fucking new typewriter
Yeah,
that I'm going to be lugging around.
It's got a few rust spots on the bottom, on the tin on the bottom, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty clean.
It's like some
Alright.
ancient typewriter, probably worth a fortune.
Why don't you just send it back to Bevington and ask him to put it in your room? Don't have to
Bjorn-
carry it around
Lauren
then
gives
anymore.
the biggest smile you have ever seen and say, okay. And he's going to put the typewriter in the ball and send it to Bevington with a note. Please put this in my room for, and then your C.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. You close the ball, and
No.
and you open it up, and there's a note there. And clearly, Bevington's been watching this ball. He's been like sitting next to it, like checking it every like 30 seconds, roughly. And like a minute later,
head that broke a wall.
you get a note that just simply says "Irsa?" ? And then okay, weird, but okay, and then that's it. Cool.
What do we do now?
Well,
Bjorn is now extremely happy.
I guess we're gonna have to look over the rest of the rooms, just to be sure we're not missing anything. And I mean, I did hear something weird when I got on top of the fountain not too long ago.
What did it do?
It just kind of clicked.
Clicks mean things usually.
Clicks do mean things.
You want to stand back on it and we'll look around?
I do, but Tarvok actually has to go to sleep. So, next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is where we will leave it this week. And
Okay.
Sorry,
we'll leave it
guys.
as a beautiful
it's okay.
gifting moment.
It was actually a really good time to stop, or we
I think
probably
so.
would have been going.
Yeah, this is a very large area, and I'm glad that you guys called it here. But thank you everybody for swinging by again this
I
week.
need to write down.
We really
Tarkin's
appreciate it.
new Things.
Fun times as always.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'll see you guys on the weekend here. If you come on by the channel, we're going to be just having fun with some nonsense. We're going to be trading off on the Ret-Con channel, streaming to that, doing random things. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say until I see you again. We've covered everything, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So
Are we going to start off with tabletop simulator?
I think that's probably a safe bet, yeah.
Table
have
flipping
lots of
shenanigans.
Nobody... Okay, Bjorn, no flipping tables this time, all right?
Oh, yeah, we should totally play
I
our
wanna
first
hit
game in
it.
No
character.
promises.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
First game we can play in character. I'm down for that.
We'll play
I'll
in
let you
character.
guys-
It'll be a good time.
I'll let you guys pick an
We can make
NPC.
it during the we can make it during the party. One of the things we did during the party.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty
that's
big
a good idea.
retcon. I like it.
I mean, it's not really a Red-Con, it's more of an addition. We didn't have to explain everything we did on it.
Last time on Ret-Con-Artists Z, you guys missed this, but now we're back. Anyway,
time.
okay, bye.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Have a great week. We will
Bye,
see you
everybody.
all Friday. Thanks again for joining the Ret-Con Artists. We hope to see you guys again next Tuesday. Take care.